Can you give us your view on Ecuador as a mining jurisdiction, please?
Sure. The thing to remember about Ecuador is it hasn't really had a proper mining industry at any stage. And there are two things, well, three key things. One is that it's on a very fertile bit of geology. The Andes run through the western spine of South America. And in Chile and Peru, you've got these huge, rich copper deposits. You get these points in the Earth's crust where there's concentration in minerals, whether it's copper-moly or copper-gold or gold-zinc. There's a whole range of these minerals that are concentrated in key parts of the crust. And the Andes is one of those, and in particular northern Chile and in Peru, and the geology and the minerality runs across into Ecuador. So you've got the fertile geology, you've got the metal endowment, but you haven't had the minerals industry development, and that's been political. And now comes to the next key point, which is that the government has absolutely endorsed the mining industry. They've realized that it's crucial to their economy and to their ongoing development as a country. They are Ecuador is a dollar-based economy, so they can't print their own money. They need to generate it through foreign direct investment and sales of hard currency, foreign exports, or exports in hard currency, and that is mining. And the government has focused on mining as the key growth area. So that's why the mining code has changed, and then the response has been astonishing. You've seen all the big boys, all the major mining companies from around the world come into Ecuador. And so you've seen investments by BHP into the Sol Gold discovery up in the north. You've got Newcrest from Australia who have invested into Lundin Gold and into Sol Gold up in the north. Lundin Gold built the $1 billion Fruta del Norte last year. The Chinese spent more than $1 billion on the copper mine at Mirador. There's another Chinese development at Rio Blanco, which is another $1 billion development. You've got Anglo-American, Rio Tinto, First Quantum, all of the big boys looking for copper, looking for gold. They're all sniffing around Ecuador because the geological potential is there.
Okay.
So that was like an impassioned description of what's happening in Ecuador. So when you talk about the Ecuador risk, it's not seen perhaps as a risk from the mining companies. It's taking a while to come through. It's taking a while for these discoveries to be made. It's not an overnight process. But when actually you think that the country's really been open for mining for only 3 or 4 years, and you've got all these companies investing in exploration and geology, you've got 2 big mines which have opened up. Even modest little Salazar Resources. We made the discovery on the Curupamba deposit. It's a very high grade VMS deposit, kind of 5% copper equivalent at surface. I mean, these grades are remarkable anywhere in the world, and it's going to be a mine in a few years, 2 or 3 or 4 years.
Okay, and you're carried on that, of course, I think, to remind people. But just let's stick with the Ecuador component thing. But I think it's fair enough that, people don't, it's only, you talked about 3 or 4 years. So the big boys are plowing in there, and there's billions of dollars going in. And we had this conversation with Marshall Koval about it at Lumina Gold. And, I can understand why the market is not there yet, because there's the track record up until this point with the socialist governments has been that we don't want mining, we don't want to ruin our ecosystems. But why the turnaround now? You gave us some clues, but is this genuine? Is this sustainable?
I would say that the Ecuadorian government is totally serious about developing a responsible mining industry. They've been incredibly consistent over the last couple of years. There've been there's been a lot of active discussion of whether the environment should come first or indigenous rights, and the government has been consistently saying we need to develop a mining industry. We have an illegal, irresponsible, environmentally destructive mining industry at the moment, and we want to develop a responsible, well-regulated mining industry that's going to benefit the whole of Ecuador. It's absolutely a key part of the government focus, and they have designated the mining industry as a strategic industry. So there were a few sectors that were able to work through the coronavirus, and the mining industry was one of those. Exploration, as it happened, took the responsible route not to continue. So most explorers in the country, unless they could do it in an extremely isolated manner, stopped, but the mining industry continued. Oh, the government is totally committed to this, and it's apolitical now. In fact, the government that started looking at the mining industry or wanting to develop a responsible mining industry had previously been anti-mining and was very socialist. And there's irrefutable logic. There's no way that you can fund the country without having a responsible mining industry. So I would say that the Ecuador discount is on its way out. The number of discoveries, the exploration activity, the drilling that's going on, the companies that are there, the level of activity, the level of interest is such that Ecuador will continue to kind of shine brightly as a country for many years and hopefully generations of mine development.